Hello comrades, Tavarish. Today we're going to look at another Russian ZENIT which I have on loan, so I don't actually own this one, but this is a Moscow Olympics one and it's called the ZENIT EM. So what's the difference between the ZENIT EM and my ZENIT E? Well, let's have a look. But the ZENIT EM has one or two more advanced features. For example, I found with the lens it has a stop down feature typical for M42 screw thread with this little pin at the back, and a bar inside here comes forward and bangs on the pin, and it should stop it down to the chosen aperture. But with this particular one it doesn't work. Now there's a switch here, same as I have on my Pentax Takuma lenses, a manual and automatic diaphragm switch. Now one way should be automatic diaphragm and it should be fully opened, then it stops down by banging on that little bar, and the other one should be a manual setting whereby you choose an aperture you want for stop down metering, but the pin doesn't work and neither the switch doesn't work. So whichever way I try it, it always has to be done manually. Choose an aperture manually here. So there we are, it's stopping down now. That's an unfortunate thing. This is the aperture ring here from f2 to 16. It's a 58mm f2 Helios 44M. It looks slightly different to the 58mm Helios that I've got in my ZENIT E. This is much further reset. You don't really need a lens hood. Now the weight of them is different as well. This one, the early one, is much lighter than the later one. I find this one a bit lighter. Of course it doesn't have the stop down pin because this is a preset lens. But I have to use this like a preset lens anyway now. And when you wind your ZENIT, you wind it here, having chosen a shutter speed you want against a little dot, minute little dot here. So that says it should be on a 30th. And when we fire the shutter, you should see that bar move. It moves, but because the pin isn't working, it doesn't stop down the lens. So there we are, that's a shame. The delayed action works the same as on a ZENIT E. They're exactly the same, but you must remember, wind the shutter first before you use the delayed action, otherwise you can jam it. Like all these Russian cameras, you can jam it. Here we are, you can see the shutter going across. All the little Russian cogs. So when you wind the shutter first before you change a shutter speed. So we'll see if we can get it onto brief time. It's a minute little dot and you need very good eyesight to set it. Oh, that's on brief time now. Look, shutter's open for as long as I keep my finger pressed. That's brief time. So the time, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work, you see. It's definitely set onto, no, it moved. It moved away onto the 30th. Nope. It says it's on B. Yes, it's against the little line there, little line, but it's not using the, there we go, there's the action, but it's an intermittent fault with the shutter. Now I have taken some pictures with it, and unfortunately there is a fault with the shutter because on this strip of negatives you can see there's a gap here, which is where the shutter isn't opening. Then you get the blackened bit of the negative as the shutter blind opens. And then this is the next frame. There's a gap there, and then you've got half a frame coming across. So unfortunately, there's a fault with the shutter on that particular EM. Now we'll see if the flash works. So there's only one flash synchronizing speed, same as the earlier one. That's a 30th of a second. 30th, and it's on X for synchronization. So we'll plug it in to the flash synchronizing port, which is here, same as on my ZENIT, all the same. Plug my flash in, and then if you look through, when I fire, when the flash is ready, it should flash. Right, it's ready now. Yes, but there's a slight fault with it. It doesn't synchronize properly because I can only see a flash at the top part there. There's a slight fault with the flash synchronization, which again is a pity. But there we are. We don't know how long this particular one has been in storage for. Yes, it didn't synchronize at all properly there. My one works perfectly. The ZENIT EM doesn't. And we'll try out my one. It's on a 30th, yes. Plug the flash in here. Hold the flash down. Flash is ready to go. Yeah, well, I could see the flash going. It seemed to work all right. Yes, there's a shutter going off, and it seemed to synchronise all right. With my ZENIT E, I have done some quite sharp pictures because that lens is very sharp, and so is the other one. The later one, the Helios 44M, is the same as this one, which this says 44-2. My one, they're both got the same. No, they've got different logos from the factories. That logo there is from a different factory than the logo in my one. There's the logo. I can't remember the name of the factory. I'll have to look it up, but you can tell which factory made it by the logo. But they're very good. They're very sharp. The only problem is the typical Russian grease. It's so stiff. It's extremely stiff, and when you screw your lens on, you try to focus. You want to focus it forward a bit. If you're not careful, it starts unscrewing. Well, that's a shame. Now, when you want to take a picture, you better use an external meter, because there is a built-in meter here underneath there, a selenium cell meter, but the selenium cell has had it. With age, it doesn't work. You're supposed to be able to set your ASA or DIN setting in there, and then turn an aperture here, and there's a little line which should go over the little circle to line up when you've set the correct aperture for the light. But it doesn't work, it doesn't move at all. I have tried that, it doesn't move. So that's a shame. Now with the film loading, you undo it here and you push up the knob there. You put in a film, push the knob down and twist it with your thumb like that so it locks in place. Then you hook your take-up leader into the little slot here, and there's a little peg which comes round and goes into one of the sprocket holes, and that's correct. You've got to watch that the sprocket hole is through a little peg there. Yes, flip it over, wind it, fire one. Now, the rewinding knob here is moving. So that's correctly loaded now. You're taking your snaps now. So we'll change it from a 30th. We'll go around, we'll drop it in, say, 125th. Now when you've taken all the shots, oh, you must remember to set this frame counter manually against the little white dot. I almost forgot this. It's not an automatic frame counter. You have to set this to 0 by turning it round. And then I have forgotten before, and I didn't know where I was up to. You turn it round, and having wound on, you set it to number 1. There. And then as you wind on, it should advance a frame. That's advanced from number 1 to number 5. Nope, it should be on number 2, shouldn't it? Ah, that's on number 3 now. That's correct. Here we are. That's working now. That's on number 4. Yeah, that's going. Now, when you've taken all the whole lot, you have to press this down and turn a little knurled ring to the direction of R for rewind your film. And I couldn't get that to work first of all. I pressed that down. I turn this, trying to press it round and turn this little ring at the same time. It's a right bind to do it. And I thought to myself, well, why didn't it work? So I tried it in the opposite direction. When I undone that, I could rewind the film. Yes. We'll open it in. There we are. The film is now rewinding back into the cassette. Now, don't forget, if you are new to using film, you don't do this. You've got to do it with the back shut. Otherwise, you're going to get light on all your lovely snaps and spoil them. That's just for purpose of demonstration. So there we are, the folks. The Russian ZENIT EM. There's got synchronization here. MF is for flash bulbs, which we don't use. So you make certain the little line here is on X for xenon tube for electronic flash. Another thing to remember. Remember to set your frame counter. Now look, you've got to turn that back again so that it winds on properly. It's a bit stiff. Yeah, it's all working now. Be very careful. Remember, never set this until you've wound on. Never change your shutter speed until you've set the shutter. Otherwise you can jam it. But all in all, the lens was sharp. Unfortunately, there's a fault with the shutter, as I've shown you, and the flash didn't work. Well, a quick run down the ZENIT EM. Thanks for watching, and I hope to give you another review on a different camera shortly. Bye bye for now.